What is up, everybody? In today's video, we'll be talking about an extreme storm that is going to impact basically the entire U.S. and is going to cause significant severe weather, big-time wildfire risks, and snow in blizzard conditions. Let's get right on into this video. The storm is already occurring right now across portions of California into Oregon areas, and if we get into the timing of the storm here, we currently have heavy rain already heading into the San Francisco area, and it's going to continue and move into the Los Angeles and San Diego areas between 4 to 7 a.m. on Thursday morning for a lot of the San Diego and Los Angeles areas, and this is going to dump rain for San Francisco and across the coastal areas of Oregon into California, and potentially bring, we could see inch to 2 inches of snow to even maybe 3 inches of snow for a lot of the coastal areas, but then we're going to see a lot, and I mean a lot of snow for the Sierra Nevada mountains, where we could see up to 4 feet of snow in some spots across the Sierra Nevada mountains, which is going to cause really bad travel up there in those mountains. If you're heading to ski resorts, be prepared, as it's going to get really intense out there from this system here. Now, if we go to the timing, this storm is going to further move into the Utah and Arizona areas on Thursday and bring snow even into portions of Colorado on Friday too, and is going to dump snow across Utah, Colorado, into Wyoming and Idaho, and is going to produce a lot of mountain snow where we could see potentially up to a foot of snow in some spots across a lot of the mountain areas around here. Now, once this thing moves over, it's going to develop significantly across portions of the central U.S., and we're going to see big-time severe weather threat. I'll talk about this in the next few minutes here, but we will also see a potential backside snow threat over in the South Dakota and North Dakota areas, where I do expect potential really, really strong winds. I don't know if it's going to exceed blizzard conditions here, but we are going to see a fast-moving area of snow across portions of the border between North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota, and northern portions of Iowa, where we could see heavy snow and really strong winds combined with this due to this really strong system. That I do think some really strong winds are going to occur, and a huge severe weather event, as this storm is also going to impact a lot of areas on Saturday in the deep south for Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee areas. Now, this storm is going to be very, very strong, and I mean really strong. We could see a 975 millibar low pressure with this storm across portions of Nebraska into Iowa as this storm moves north, and that is absolutely insane for anywhere inland, and this is going to cause a huge wind field for basically this entire area I just circled in that area there. Now, this big wind field is going to form around the 10 a.m. time frame on Friday and is going to cause significant strong winds. We could see 60 to 70 miles an hour gusts in some spots across Amarillo, Texas is going to be in the bullseye of this, into Albuquerque. Oklahoma City and Dallas are all going to get impacted by this, as I'm pretty sure a critical risk of fire weather was issued across Amarillo into Lubbock, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Fort Worth, Dallas, San Angelo, Abilene, Austin, and Waco, all in Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and portions of Kansas here. And this is due to extremely strong winds across portions of Oklahoma, into Missouri, and Texas areas, which is going to be combined, and I mean it's going to be combined with some really, really low relative humidity here. We're going to see really dry air, potentially down to like 5% in some spots across portions of Texas into Oklahoma, meaning this really dry air plus strong winds are going to cause a significant risk for wildfires out here. So do not be starting a fire by any means if you're in those areas I mentioned in Texas, Oklahoma, southern Kansas, into New Mexico. Cannot stress that enough. And these strong winds could potentially cause some issues. Things outdoors will get blown around, and it's some really, really strong wind gusts that's going to occur across these areas. So definitely be prepared for that. For a lot of the U.S., it's going to be a pretty windy one. Now, this event is going to be combined with, due to it being March, and there's a really warm temperatures across a lot of the U.S., we're going to see a severe weather threat starting on Friday with an enhanced risk of severe weather for portions of Missouri, Arkansas, into Tennessee, portions of Mississippi, Alabama, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa here, where significant severe weather is expected across St. Louis, Springfield, Illinois, Paducah, Kentucky, Evansville, into Indianapolis areas, maybe even up to Chicago, all the way into Memphis, Tennessee, and more areas. Now, the severe weather threat is going to be combined with a really strong, and I mean a really strong wind threat across the northern portions of the risk that I just circled across portions of Missouri, Illinois, into Indiana, and Ohio, and portions of Iowa here. Now, the southern risk is where I do think the highest threat for tornadoes is, but it's more of a conditional risk due to the chance of storms forming is a little lower down there. But I do expect a line of storms to form across portions of Missouri into Illinois and Indiana, and then more of a supercellular threat further south. And if we do get into the timing of this system already here, I do think the NAM 3 kilometer is in range of this storm. If we take a look at this here. Yep, so if we look at this now, this is going to form across portions of western Missouri around the 4 p.m. time frame on Friday, and is going to quickly develop into a really strong squall line across a lot of central Missouri, and this is going to produce some really strong winds. I think St. Louis could get impacted significantly by this across the 8 p.m. time frame. This is going to impact Columbia, Missouri around 6 p.m., Springfield, where this develops in Springfield, Missouri around the 4 p.m. time frame. Now, I do think this is going to spare the Kansas City, Missouri areas, as it's going to form like right over the area, but they could still see a few severe thunderstorm warnings in that area. Then it's going to be further north and impact portions of Iowa into Chicago. And then finally it's going to dissipate around the midnight hours as the environment instability starts to weaken across portions of Indiana into Kentucky. Now, this is going to be due to the fact that there's a lot of convective available potential energy, and the models have increased on the moisture. If we do see this increase even more, we're going to be looking at a more significant severe weather event for these areas, as a lot of moisture is forming across these areas, though I do think a significant severe weather threat could occur, and I do think the chance for strong tornadoes is there, especially down in southern Missouri, where we could see supercellulars, storms that aren't in the line of storms form, and could produce a significant tornado threat. Now, the strongest wind threat will probably be in the areas I circled, and then the highest tornado threat will also be in these areas I circled right here. So the tornado threat in these areas, in the wind threat in those areas I just circled there. Now, the severe weather threat is going to shift further south on Saturday here, and is going to be a big one. This could be even more significant than Friday, with the highest probabilities across portions of Louisiana, into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, into Tennessee areas, and Florida, as another area of strong tornadoes, strong winds, and hail are all expected, and this could be an even more strong tornado threat with this system here, as if we get into the NAM 12 kilometer, there's a lot more moisture where the significant severe weather threat is going to occur down in those areas. We could even see some severe weather further north, but due to the lack of moisture further north in Ohio and Kentucky and West Virginia, I do think the severe weather threat will be a little lower in these areas, but we could still see some significant severe weather over there. But the reason for the significant severe weather threat is due to the fact that there's a lot of convective available potential energy in these areas in Mississippi and Alabama, plus a racing low-level jet that's going to form across portions of Mississippi and Alabama that's going to spell the opportunity for a really big tornado threat. And I do think this could potentially be a tornado outbreak. I might be exaggerating it a tiny bit, but everyone's saying it. This could be a big-time storm. So really start to be prepared down there in southern Tennessee into Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana and portions of the Panhandle of Florida, as I do think this is going to be a big-time storm. We're still a little bit too far out, but by tomorrow and even 2 days from now, we will get a lot more details on this storm. Now, I hope everybody did enjoy this video. I went pretty in depth on this system, as this is going to be a big one. This is the biggest storm we've had so far all year, and it's going to be a really big severe weather threat. This might be up there for some of the biggest severe weather threats we'll have all year, this entire year. So this is definitely going to be a big one. Stay prepared out there. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Bye, everybody.